So what's up, good people? This is Eugene the African Kid, and today we're going to talk about South Africa a little bit. So I've seen a couple of African Americans going to South Africa, and probably the responses of them have been so positive. There is not much something negative to say about South Africa, of course, but also being genuine with some things, I think it's important. So in today's video, we're going to be addressing a couple of African Americans who came to South Africa and later on decides that they are going to stay in South Africa forever. And this is not as what they expected before, but it just happened because they stayed in South Africa for quite some time, and then they saw that it's imperative just to stay in South Africa because they feel resonating with South Africans. So I want us to watch this video and later on come back and talk about, and also I'll be telling you the reason as to why South Africans resonates with African Americans. And I feel like for an African American looking for United States in Africa, I think South Africa is the best place for you to go, and I'll recommend you to go to South Africa. And I'm going to tell you the reason as to why South Africa is the United States in Africa. So stay tuned and let's watch this video. And just before that, if you're watching this video for the first time, kindly ensure subscribing to our channel, like the video and share so that it might reach so many people who want to visit South Africa and also listen to these couples, and let's hear what they're saying, and we'll discuss why South Africa is the United States of Africa. So let's get to the video and hope you learn something from it. Let's get it.
We really wish that we did not have to leave so soon.
Yes.
We enjoyed every last bit of this trip, and we really cannot wait to be back.
Most definitely. Which will be very soon, actually.
Very soon.
Yeah, it's definitely in the plans. Alright, so y'all, to conclude, first and foremost, y'all already know that we say it feels so much different. The frequency feels so much more peaceful. Energy feels a lot more chill. Now, first and foremost, I'd like to say, for our people, Black Americans, it's imperative that you at least come to visit Africa. One, because our minds and our image of Africa is dirt, poor children, poor people, you know, what they show on the commercials, but it's not like that in every area.
People don't understand that Africa is a continent.
A continent.
Not a country.
America is a country. With that being said, there's going to be a bunch of different places that speak different languages, that have a different look, that have different people, but are all melanated, or majority melanated at that. And it's not like what they show us on TV.
But with coming to Africa, you have so many options as far as countries that you can go to. We specifically came to South Africa because, one, I have been here before, so I already knew about it, and two, we feel that this is the most like where we come from in America. And it is.
Yeah, it is. You can even look this up. People will say the same thing. We're not the only ones saying this.
Yeah.
It is the most resembled to America.
We've been through similar struggles. The way the buildings are set up, the way the streets look, like a lot of things are very similar. So that's why we chose to come and visit here, to be amongst other melanated people every single day, to get that experience, but also still feel like where we come from.
We are being closer to our ancestors and in the land that our people originate. Just imagine every day being as if you're in an HBCU, if you have experience of that. Or anytime you have a cookout or a black function and it's a bunch of us gathered for the same common reason, that's every day. Like, you don't have to call this a black owned business. You don't have to say this is an HBCU. No, this is the land of the black. This is the land of our people. Yes. And the energy feels just like that.
Yes, and of course they do have, white Africans here, but they do not even act the same as the white people in America.
They're tuned to our frequency here. Yes. If I can put it out just like that. And that's literally how it is.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, it's the complete opposite.
It's their world.
It's their world. We were brought there on their time, on their frequency, and that's the way our people now operate, on that type of frequency. It's not as peaceful here.
Everybody here is nice. They have no reason to have any anger within them. No reason.
Literally. Feel like you around family.
every day, like random people you don't know. Like it just feels good. We keep talking about the feeling because it's a true feeling. That's why we said that you all have to come and visit for yourself, because it just feels so good.
Literally, it feels like a weight has been lifted off of our spirits, like just by being here.
Yes.
So I know that coming back will be even greater. The more that we're here, will be even greater.
And then we do have to, return back to America, return back home. So we are hoping that we can continue to keep the frequency, the momentum that we have developed gained here, and keep it when we go back, so that,
which we will. Yeah. We're going to take everything that we experience back with us, so we can maintain the same frequency, the same level of peace, and knowing that we will be back soon.
Very, very soon.
Alright, when should we come back?
Well, I think that we should move here.
I agree. That is the plan, actually. We are planning to move here. Our reason for coming here wasn't just to do excursions, just to be tourists. Like, we want to be tapped in to the ancestors. We want to be back where we originate. We want to be home, essentially. So, every day. We want to feel like this every day. So we came out here to experience South Africa, and it was everything exceeded our expectations. We are so grateful to have been here. We're so honored to have been here. So glad we came. And we're going to be coming back next year.
Yes, to live here. We're not coming to visit. We're coming to live here, to be here.
For good.
For good.
In Africa.
Yes.
In the motherland. With our people.
Yes. Honestly, I feel like some people probably expected it based off the videos that we put out, the way we talked about it so much. I'm sure this is not like news to a lot of you all. So yes, if you didn't know already, we are moving.
I'm pretty sure people expected and suspected that it would be happening soon.
Yeah.
2024, we're going to be out here for good.
Yes. And we can't wait. We are excited to take you all along the journey and the process of moving out here. That goes for visas, selling stuff, packing, the whole process. We're going to take you all along. So stay within our channel. Stay subscribed for our South African family.
Turn on your post notifications, because when we get back, we're going to get straight to it. We're going to get straight to getting the visa.
Yes, and then straight to getting everything together so that we can be out here next year. And we're not talking about the end of next year. Not this, around this time next year, will have already been here for some time. So that's like a hint of.
So my number one reasons as to why South Africans deeply resonate with African Americans, one thing I'll say is called historical solidarity. So historical solidarity, this is something which happened both in South Africa and both in the United States. So in South Africa, during the apartheid regime, there are a lot of discrimination and segregations which were taking place, where the blacks were discriminated, where the blacks were not given, essential services as other, people in South Africa. So you realize that in the United States, also they are the same struggles, because they are the civil rights movements which fostered them so they could hear out what they wanted to say. And I feel like they share the same struggles, South Africans and African Americans, and I feel like there's a deep connection between them. So I'll advise a person who wants to go, an African American who also have faced the same things, they can deeply connect with South Africans because they share the same struggles. And historically, this is something which has always been there, and it's something which was also stipulated in history. So it is highly resonating for African Americans to, interact with South Africans, because they share a lot in common, live along the towns which are similar to the United States. I'm talking about historical solidarity. Whereas in South Africa, they were going through something called apartheid regime. In the United States, they were going something about systemic racism. So you find that it's quite similar to the struggle. So in these shared struggles, it's easier to note that these people can highly resonate, and also knowing that we come from the black community and reconnecting with our roots in South Africa, I think it's important. Let's get to the second reason as to why South Africans can highly reconnect to African Americans. Number two, symbolic locations. So you see, in South Africa, we have symbolic locations which significantly means something similar to the African Americans. So I'm going to talk about the Robben Island. I'm going to talk about Soweto. So Robben Island is where Nelson Mandela was arrested or was detained. So what was the reason as to why Nelson Mandela was detained? Nelson Mandela was detained because he was fighting for the rights of the black community in South Africa during the apartheid region. And so he was taken to the Robben Island. Also Soweto. These are places where African struggles to fight for their rights. So how are African Americans resonating to this? African Americans are resonating to this because they have people like Du Bois, people like, Washington. So these struggles and these places, if African Americans go to South Africa and go have a visit to these places, they can see that it really highly reconnects, it highly resonates with what their brothers in South Africa faced. And also it is a warm welcoming that also Africans struggled with these things back in Africa. So I feel like South Africa plays an integral part in noticing that we as Africans also share the same struggles as African Americans. And when they come to South Africa, they can see this for true. In as much as we have places like countries like African countries like Ghana, which also have the castles, which also have the slave ports, I believe that South Africa also holds a portion where African Americans were taken to the slave ports, where African Americans were taken to work as slaves. So it is highly recommendable for African Americans to also visit South Africa and see these places. When you go to Soweto, when you go to the Robben Island, it will show you that also Africans faced the same struggles as you back in the United States. And when you come, Africans really understand, because these are things that they face, these are things that they face on their daily lives. So let's go to the third reason as to why South Africans resonates with African Americans, or African Americans resonates with South Africans. Number 3, let's talk about diversity and unity. So South Africa is so diverse, and it's also unified. We have the colored, we have the whites, we have the Africans, we have the Afrikaners. So we have a groups of people in South Africa. So while we still have this diversity, because South Africans also, they speak different languages, and they have their ethnic languages which they speak differently. So that being said, in South Africa we have unity. People reconnect, people socialize out of what they think is the Ubuntu spirit, which is in Africa, which it is the brotherhood. So much stronger in Africa. So where there is unity, there is peace. So South Africa is one of the most peaceful African countries that we have ever had. So when you go to South Africa, you'll find these different groups, and it will highly resonate with you, because same with the United States, where we have different groups of people, and we also have diversified black communities also in South Africa, same as the United States. So with this, it teaches us how to interact with different social groups, different people, different lineages, and help us understand the struggles of everyone. And I think South Africa is important in this, because it shows you every group with their struggles, and with every group with what you can learn from them. And I think this can be a perfect fit for African Americans who wants to go to South Africa, because I believe that you'll find different groups, you'll find different people, beautiful women, handsome men. They are all there, people speaking differently. We have people who speak Zulu, or people, there are a couple of languages that are spoken in South Africa, and they also have diverse culture which you can reconnect with. They also have given foods which we may also try to test them. So with that being said, I feel like South Africa offers a variety of people where African Americans can meet with. So if you want to go to South Africa, I think that's the right spot that you've chosen. And also, if you feel like South Africa is not the right spot for you, we have 54 countries in Africa. You can choose that you feel that you highly resonate with. So with that being said, let's go to the fourth one. The fourth one is legacy of icons. South Africa has icons which have fought for the Pan-Africanism of Africa, and Pan-Africanism which entails bringing people with African descent together and standing together as a black community. I talk about Nelson Mandela, I talk about Desmond Tutu. You know, these people have worked so hard to bring Africans together, and you realize that it's not only Africans. People like Desmond Tutu, people like Nelson Mandela have also featured American history, American black history, because they have fought for people in the black community to come together. And with this, you realize that African Americans can highly resonate with these people, because it is in this country where they came together and tried to foster unity, to spread the spirit of Ubuntu spirit, to spread the spirit of Pan-Africanism. And people like Desmond Tutu, people like Nelson Mandela have led this Pan-African movement to ensure that people from the black community highly resonate with them. And this, I feel like this is a perfect fit for African Americans, because it is the same people who also liaise with people like Marcus Garvey, people who liaise like W.E. Du Bois, to work together to foster understanding from people of the black community. So South Africa offers a place where African Americans can highly resonate with, because when they come to these places, understanding their history and the historical things that happened and the works that South African leaders have worked to embrace the Pan-Africanism amongst Africans and the African Americans has played a great role. And you can pay tribute to this by visiting South Africa. And South Africans also understand this, and they have always been embracing this. And I feel like this is the best thing which has ever happened to Africans, especially South Africans who are welcoming African Americans to the United States. Not to the United States, but to Africa. And so, with that being said, so African Americans highly resonate with them for that reason. And guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. And if you reached this part still watching this video, kindly consider subscribing to my channel if you're watching it for the first time. The fifth, we have shared challenges and progresses. So you see, South Africans have had a lot of challenges since the time of inception, and one of the African countries which got the independence latest. So the thing is this, Africans and African Americans have shared challenges, especially the South Africans, because I'm saying this totally because it is in South Africa we have the apartheid region, and Africans tried to fight for their rights in South Africa and came up with the rights which helped them. And today South Africa is one of the most developed African countries, actually competing with the United States in terms of development. So why am I saying that African Americans who want to find another America in Africa, South Africa is the perfect place for them. South Africa is highly developed with South Africa is one of the most growing economies in Africa, so to say. And where you want to invest, where you want to develop, where you want to grow as an African Americans, I think South Africa is the perfect place for you. And I've seen a couple of African Americans going there and thriving very well and doing businesses and doing a lot of things. And also fellow Africans have also been in South Africa, and people are going to South Africa to find their purpose, find a job, people getting married, people falling in love with South African women, one of the most things that they love. So focusing on the main agenda, which is shared challenges, when South Africans faced the apartheid regime, African Americans, as I said earlier, faced systemic racism and discrimination and everything, which is equally similar to South Africans in Africa. So it is highly resonating when South Africa is developing today, and most of African countries are high on South Africa, raising the African flag when it comes to development. So with that being said, a perfect spot for African Americans who can, understand the development dynamics and economic things. I think South Africa is the best place for you to go and thrive well and find what you can do in South Africa. South Africans, kindly tell me what you think in the comment section. If there's something I've said that haven't resonated with you, kindly tell me in the comment section. If there's something I've said that resonates with you, also tell me in the comment section. Let's continue. So guys, among other things, tell me what you think in the comment section, that you think why South Africans resonates highly with African Americans. I did a couple of videos about Ghana, I did a couple of videos about Nigeria, so make sure you check them out. So guys, If you're watching this video for the first time, I also request you, it really means a lot to me, kindly subscribe to my channel and reach me 1,000 subscribers to encourage me to work so hard to produce you videos so that you can see, and I hope that we grow together. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as you are in this festive season. Kindly be safe and ensure that you hydrate. And you guys, let's see you in the next video. Peace, love, and harmony. This is Eugene, the African Kid. Salute.